Hello, welcome to another episode of the Infinite Podcast. A little bit sick this week, so you guys just gonna have to bear with me if I mute myself and disappear for a cough. Anyway, let's jump into the panel. Donte, welcome back. How you doing? How's your week been? What have you been playing? How's Dragon's Dogma? All that stuff.
You just called me out, man. So you know I've been playing Dragon's Dogma, huh? So my week has been great. Can't really complain. Hold on, I got some lighting issues. I'm going to change my theme here, everybody. Lighten this up just a little bit. Week's been good, man. Today I actually had off, so I've been able to sit around and do nothing. Started to rewatch the Fallout show again because I have issues and I like watching stuff that I enjoy over and over again. Still playing Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm in New Game Plus, so I can go back and do the real ending for anyone who's played that and knows what I'm talking about. Sorry that you're sick though, bro, man, but you know, I was proud of you because I texted, I was like, hey, we postponed, and you're like, nah, the show must go on. So shout out to you, Riskit.
Yeah, I sort of started feeling it last night, and then woke up this morning, and I was like, but that's all good. I got the day off work, and this is what we're doing. Umbra, how's your week been? What have you been up to? What have you been playing? I think I know what you've been playing based on your name.
Yes, arise, the wicked. No, okay, that don't work together. But anyway, no, yeah, man, I have been playing No Rest for the Wicked. And I didn't get much rest, so that kind of works out. It kind of checks out. It's pretty dope. It has a very artsy kind of painterly style to it. Really beautiful game. It's in the vein of what you have on the screen now with Ori. Moon knows their stuff when it comes to that. The combat is very much Souls-esque. Yeah, so it's tough. It's challenging for sure. I've died many times already, but in trying to learn the mechanics, but it's really fun. It's really engaging, and I'm liking it a lot so far, I have to say. As far as what I also have been doing, of course, I had my show yesterday. I had Sentinel Gaming. That's the cost of pop burping. I had Sentinel Gaming in my Chicago brother Rand.
Soda.
Pop. If you all don't know, we outlaw the use of soda, the saying of soda here. It's like putting.
Is that a Midwest thing?
No.
It's a Midwest thing.
No,
yeah.
it's not. It's not.
Don't listen to her.
It's another Valium thing.
I'm just asking questions.
Listen to me, Donte. Don't listen to her. She's trying to lead you astray and bamboozle you. It's like putting ketchup on a hot dog here. It's outlawed. We don't do that.
Ketchup on a hot dog is good.
See, you see what I mean?
Is it only mustard in the Midwest? Is it mustard only?
That's a Chicago thing specifically. But
okay.
Yeah. See, she's telling on herself with that.
I'm learning things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so I had Rand and I had Sentinel on. We had a good talk. You know, I will say though, I was disappointed how I handled the Fallout talk. And like when you were saying, Donte, you're gonna rewatch them. It's funny because it's like I should have rewatched and I didn't for episode 3 or 4. So we kind of got to it and I'm reading the synopsis online. I'm like, okay, I don't remember this part. And I'm trying to go through it like, okay, how do we discuss this properly? So I didn't handle that well. I was a little annoyed with myself at that. And also too, we were rushing with time. So long story short, good discussion, but hampered by the Fallout discussion. Should have been better. But happy to be here with you all. Sorry you're feeling not feeling so well, Risk.
I'll live. This Australians, you know, we're tough. We just tough things out. Blue, how's your week been? What have you been up to? No, hang on. Let's go back quickly because we call it cool drink. You guys call it soda and pop or whatever you call it. We call it cool drink, right?
Cool drink.
Yeah,
I've never heard that term ever.
Yours
cool
is
drink.
more offensive.
Well, what about like iced tea is a cool drink?
Right.
Yeah.
Iced coffee is a cool drink.
Yeah.
You can still have cool drinks. But
lemonade's a cool drink.
Right.
It's a cool drink. It's probably right. Yeah, it's a cool drink. If it's a soda, it's a cool drink. And we don't drink Fosters. That's a myth. Blue, what have you been up to?
I mean, I feel like my whole life is a lie from this moment on. I might as well just hang up and go away because Sadie and not drink Foster. Hello, everyone. I'm good. I have been playing Spider Heck. which we should definitely talk about at some point because I tried it last weekend for the first time with a birthday party, and then I told Riskit about it, and I think he's hooked. Took about 3 seconds, and then we played with Grey Monad, who chuckled a lot and pretended like he didn't like it that much, but I think he secretly loved it. And I played Botany Manor, which came out in Game Pass this week. Super, super chill, very lovely game. And I've played a bit of Hades 2 in the public test. So that's been really cool. And I'm trying to play Dragon's Dogma, but it's just one of those that you have to like carve out a portion of your day to sit down every time you want to do it. So,
right.
And Call of Duty. That's it.
That's so true. Yeah. Dragon's Dogma got pushed aside for Fallout 3 for me. And now Fallout 3, I mean,
that's a wise decision.
Yeah. And Fallout 3 now has been pushed aside by the rest of the wicked.
Yeah, well, same for me as well. I figured out a way to continue playing on my console, but play a PC game. Steam has come to console.
You're fake.
It's not a fake. Not at all. No, not at all. It's still on my console. It's still exactly the same. It's no different. I think it's pretty. So No Rest of the Wicked is good, but where I am, the internet isn't as stable for gaming as it would be where I normally am. So I think it'll be better when I'm back home. Performance-wise, it's okay, but the game is just like visceral and guttural, and like every hit you feel. I'm loving it. I haven't played a whole lot of it. Probably played about an hour of it. I was like half dead last night when I went to sleep because I realized I was getting sick. But it was great. I'm loving that. And it is like playing a painting, like playing a drawing. It's so well done. I love Moon Studios, and I'm super hyped for the full release. 1.0, I believe, is when they're going to release on consoles. But guys, if you haven't played or you can't play because you don't have a PC, jump on a GeForce now, hook that up with your Edge browser and your console. You can jump in and play the game on your console through the Edge browser. It does cost for a subscription, but they're doing a free trial, so just check it out. I highly recommend doing it. Surprised I haven't done it before, but this one I could not miss people playing it, and I'm like, no, I can't miss this, and I'm not buying a PC because I'm console purist. I just want to be pure. We do, before we jump into this, Lotus Esprit with the $10 sticker. I believe it was a hippo character that collapsed to the ground and his chair broke while the word wrecked appear above him. I love how
that's so good.
This thing writes it out for you. We do have this week a bit of a competition running, so we'll jump into that before we move into the topics. Guys, just type hashtag coins in the chat. Blue, do you have one of those coins handy? Because I didn't have a picture of one to bring up in the screen. I should have, but I might see if I can find one. But you get a chance if you type hashtag coins in the chat somewhere in the middle of the show. We will do a competition giveaway. And if you win, all you need to do is just send your address to us and we will send you out one of these coins. I believe we've got 5 to give away over the next few shows in total. So we may do 2 today. We may do 2 next. I don't know what we'll do. We'll see what happens. But this will run for the entire show. So just type hashtag coins in the chat. And somewhere in the middle of the show, we'll flick through and let you guys know if you won. Topics this week. It's been a bit of a interesting week. The one I wanted to hit on this week was the PlayStation trophies came to Ghost of Tsushima. They've revealed that they revealed hardware requirements, but one of the most interesting things that they revealed is that it will be cross-play and cross-progression. And you will also be able to earn PlayStation trophies whilst playing Ghost of Tsushima. And I guess, it says here, it's a quote, says to make use of features like trophies, friends list, cross-play, you can sign in with your existing account for PlayStation Network and or create a new account. The use of the PlayStation overlay is optional for both the single-player experience and the Legends mode. So this, to me, signals what we've been saying for years, Umbra. I think we've been talking about this. Like, eventually, PlayStation is going to have to go PC.
Bend the knee, as King David would say.
Absolutely. Do you think that they're bending the knee?
Yeah, I mean they're getting there. They're at least one knee down, right? Like they're about to propose. One of those needs to stick around. Uh oh. What was? What was? I'm hearing a feedback.
I'm
Is
hearing
that
that
an
too.
echo? You hearing an echo?
Yeah, I'm hearing that too.
I'm hearing myself. I mean, I sound great, but just saying. Okay, it sounds.
What about now?
It sounds like it's all right
Hmm?
now. Yeah, no, I mean, at least one of those knees are touching the ground, right? So, Blue, you had something to say? It sounded like you. Okay, yeah. Didn't think so. Yeah, because I sound like it sounded like she said, I don't know, like she was. Anyway, I'm gonna leave
I've
that.
been muted by Riskit, so I can't say anything.
Okay, well, your eyes looked shifty, like you were like disagreeing with me and my voice. I don't know. Just saying. Blue has been very unsupportive. Donte has been on my side, so I appreciate him. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely a bit of them bending the knee, right? More and more they're getting there. Having the whole UI coming on board, I think is a smart move. I don't know if they're going to try to go the route of adding their own launcher. I just don't see the need for it, but I feel like that's what they'll probably do anyway. On PC is typically going to be on one of three maybe specific launches, and that's Steam, GOG, and Epic, right? So I don't know if it'll be successful if they go that route. Maybe, maybe not. But I mean, they're already on Epic. I mean, excuse me, on Steam anyway. So I guess it doesn't really matter too much one way or another. But yeah, I think it's one step closer to that. I like it. I like that they're moving in a direction. I mean, especially since now I'm, PC MR, so it works out for me just fine. Less PlayStation hardware I have to buy in the future, I suppose. I don't need the PS5 Pro, right? I mean, I'm good over here once I have all their games over here. But no, it's a shift. It's a shift in things, and PlayStation, as I'm sure we've all come to learn, at least over the years, is they're pretty slow in upkeep. They kind of follow the trend of what Microsoft or Nintendo sets, in my honest opinion, and I don't mean that necessarily negatively, but they'll wait around and kind of see how Microsoft tends to lead the pack and lead the way. Now, Microsoft, the bad part is they'll get the slack for it until it's now standard, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's not so bad anymore because Sony does it, right? So there is that. I will say though, it has been hilarious seeing the copium from our Hoove brothers. It's been hilarious to see them slowly coming to the realization that all of your base are belong to me, says the PC. That has been pretty hilarious. I will acknowledge that. I'm not sure how you're feeling over there, Bobby. Are the stables are in disarray over there, Bobby? Let us know in the chat. But yeah. What's this? What up, KY? Yeah, so yeah, man. No, I mean it's interesting to see that it's happening. I think we've talked about this several times that they would eventually come this way. I think it's going to happen sooner than later. I actually prophesized, if you will, that it would happen later this year, where they will probably, I guess, late in the year, maybe November, December, or something like that, where they would start pointing out, if not next year, that it will be a day and date kind of situation happening. I think, and a lot of people are signaling Wolverine being the first one of the type to do it, and that makes some sense because of Disney and how they want increased profit sharing on their end. You know what I mean? So I can see that happening, and Disney may force their hand more ways than one in putting their games elsewhere. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I think it either signals a launcher, and I think, or it signals they're just going the full PC, or both. I think either way, you can expect them to be day and date. I'd say in the very least. I think, what did I say, by 2025? So that's, my knees were on the table for 2025. So by 2025, so by next year, I expect PC to PlayStation to be full PC day and date. Blue, where are you at? You think this is a move towards day and date?
Yeah, for sure. When I was on XNC with Colt, he had kind of just posturing, we were posturing about like, what do we think about PlayStation going to PC, if it's going to happen? And I said 1 to 2 years. And Riskit's doing that thing with the cameras. So I think that that's still right. Wolverine might be the first day and date, but even if it isn't, I think we're really close. I find it super interesting that they made their own overlay like that. Instead of just selling through Steam or whatever, right? They're making plenty of money by just doing it like that. But I get it. Like, people on consoles like to see progression carry. They like to be able to flip. Like, we all want to be able to play on our console and our PC if we can, and keep it moving. Have the same trophies on that system, and be able to just move around as we see fit, especially with handheld gaming becoming such a big deal. A lot of these handhelds are just Windows based, right? So it's a way for them to sort of get on those too, outside of just like the portal. And people seem to like trophies. I personally like achievement numbers better, just because I'm a nerd and I like numbers and to see like the leveling up with numbers. But there is a huge call for people to have trophies and platinums and all that stuff. So it does make sense to do this. The UI it's okay. I feel like it could be a little bit better, but it's their first iteration and it's pretty good. So we'll see. It's nice to see them doing something for the PC people, and probably something that we'll see coming sooner and sooner as time goes on. I think that window's just going to shorten and shorten and shorten, and it's fine. It should be that way, right? I mean, PC is kind of, it's console agnostic, right? That's the unique thing about PC, and so they should just have access to all of the games day and date. It's kind of that come in the middle thing where everybody's just like, okay, it's just PC, right? So it makes sense.
It took everything I had in me to bite my tongue. I was going to say, what happened to Donte?
He was having some echo issues and such, but he's back. He's back in there. But yeah, look, I agree. I think even though I'm not, and I take the piss out of people who go PC all the time, and I'm console purist, it's simply from a convenience standpoint for me. But I think those people that are on PC, they're very unlikely to be coming over to console, for whatever game it is. I think if they're going to come, they're already there. And I think you capture a larger market. And again, I really do believe, if Wolverine is 2025, that could be the first day and date big release that we see. I'd be interested to see. That was the sort of the bet that I made all that time ago. Donte's dropped out again. I don't want to move to the next topic until I've got his take. He's got some tech issues in the background. But guys, don't forget to type coins, #coins in the chat for an opportunity to win one of the Hellblade 2 coins. Holly's got one there. She's just about to show it.
Our Vanna White. This is our Vanna White right here. Holly is, yeah. Spin it around for them, Holly. Let's see the backside of that coin.
Trying to get it to focus. Come on, camera.
You want to see the backside
of the coin? Of the coin.
What?
He bought Stellar Blade. Of course he does.
A brand new coin. That coin is spectacular. My favorite colors, by the way.
It is amazing. Absolutely, guys. Just type. What the? Type coins in the chat. Coins with an S. #coins for a chance to win one of those coins. Donte, we were just talking about what we believe to be the shift to PC from PlayStation, bringing their trophies across, their overlays across, being able to cross progress, play with your friends. It is very much like Umbra said. I completely agree. They're following in the footsteps of Xbox. They have. I think Xbox jumps too early on a lot of things, but on this one they're on point. Do you feel like PS is following Xbox, and do you think that this is their step towards PC? And again, I'll say, I did say 2025, I believe we'll see Wolverine release day and date on PC. What do you think about that as well?
Yeah, I think they're they're gearing up. I think they probably look at some of the games that they've already released that would have benefited by being day one on PC. So what we're seeing is like this iteration in March towards like having things ready for PC, so that way they're not going to miss out on trying to hope that the cachet of a particular game that they release does really, really well a year or two after the game already hits on PlayStation. So I think we'll eventually get to the point where you'll see some of their big exclusives also be day and date on both the console and also on PC. In terms of like the overlay information, like to my understanding, it's just right now that's just like trophies and stuff, right? Because I don't think they still got like cross progression for saves. So like if I'm playing the game on PlayStation and I get to a certain point, go back and pick it up on PC. I don't think that's in play just yet. So they still need to kind of catch up there unless that's changed. Is there any new information on that? Because I thought that was still a missing key factor, just more like their trophies that you'll see between both console and PC. So if so, they need to kind of still catch up on that portion. But I think they want to get to a point where they're not leaving any money left on the table. And I don't care what anyone says. I think Final Fantasy right now has been hurt because of the fact of releasing it years later after like breaking it up in this part 1, part 2 stuff that they're doing, and then releasing it years later to just the PS5 version. I think that gets hurt. I think it does better when you got something that you want to get to a bunch of people if you're going to have it like on whatever platforms you're pushing it on. It does better when you can get it all out at the same time as opposed to hoping that people are going to want to go ahead and grab it a year or two after it's been out on one platform. Because a lot of the people who have it on PlayStation, they've already paid for it, right? So only the diehards are going to be like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll try this on PC. And then some PC players who probably were interested are probably going to grab it. But if you can get everybody when the hype is real, like they're seeing the success right now with Helldivers, I think that's the thing that they're looking at. They're like, hey, look what Helldivers is doing between both PC and PlayStation. They probably want that for like their other games that they're going to release. So yeah, I think we're seeing them kind of try to get in the same vein of what Microsoft is doing. They're reading tea leaves, and I can see that happening in the future for their next release.
So I'll ask a question on it for all of you guys. Like,
I was moving. Sorry,
yeah, I had a feeling because I'm like, it got silent. I'm like, but yeah, I was gonna say, like, with this whole thing happening like this and it processing, like some people look at it like I said, some are coping, some don't want it to happen, etc., and some feel like we're like it's a celebration too soon. If you all had to say day and date, like what would you say? Because I said maybe later this year, if not next year, they'll announce day and date going forward. Sony does want to try to double dip as they do, but I feel like their profit margins aren't quite mathing as they want it to. So I feel like it's going to be sooner than later. What's you guys' thoughts on it? Timeline wise, I'd say.
Luke?
Time-wise on, sorry. What? I was chatting with the chat. I was chatting with the chat. What?
PC day and date. When do you think we'll see PlayStation day and date? And I'll get to this super chat because it's relevant.
2025, 2026.
Mm-hmm. Donte?
Because they don't have any first-party games until 2025.
Yeah. Well, that's my thoughts is Wolverine and Dante's.
I think.
Yeah.
Is it Wolverine 26 though? I thought it was 2026.
Yeah, 2025, 2026. No, I'm not 100%, but I don't think they haven't got a solid release date yet. But I'm saying if it's a first party in 2025, then I think we'll see that go day and date. Donte, what do you think? First party day and date, 2025, 2026, never happening.
I think the audio may have cut out for him.
He's down. Down bad.
Oh, he did.
He's back. But look, I'll do Phase 23 Brooklyn's with the super chat, $19.99. Thank you very much. Phase 23 said, I've been hearing from Xbox fans for the last 5 years, Sony doing day and date on PC with their single player games. They're about to release a 4-year game on PC. If or when it happens, then brag about it. Yeah, I mean, this you could take it as bragging. Phase 23. If you want to take it as that, it's not a brag until it happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's already not a brag because it hasn't happened. I believe it'll happen in 2025. That's what I've been saying for probably the last 2-3 years. So, yeah, look, dude, it's happening. Whether you want it to happen or not, it's happening. So, I think, yeah, it's all good. Should we jump on to the next topic? I think Donte's having some tech issues. Are you back there, Donte? I think you might be having some audio.
Kinda.
Oh,
it's the focus, right? It's basically having some. It's been helter skelter today, so I apologize, everyone.
Yeah. So, what do you think? You think day and date 2025?
Yeah, for I think the big one, the next one would be for like you said, Wolverine. I think that'll be their test. They'll probably want to get everything geared up. That's going to be their next major kind of like new IP release. So I think if they are indeed joining the day and date strategy, which it seems like they are, I think Wolverine is going to be the one that they want to do that for. They want to maximize as much sales as they possibly can for that one, and so getting it out to both PC and on PlayStation, I think is going to be, like their focus of probably what they're shooting for. So
yeah, I think Helldivers has driven that as well. I mean, the huge reception that game got and the huge player count. Like it's never going to be that big, I don't think, with a single player, but there is going to be a decent uptick. So I think it's definitely well worth it. Before we move on to the next topic, guys, please hit the like button. Share us out. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday if you're in the US. If you are in Australia, I believe it's 11 a.m. over in the East and 8 a.m. over in the West Coast, Best Coast, where I am. Next. Before we do move to the next topic as well, guys, just a reminder, we are doing a giveaway. So please type #coins with an S in the chat to win, and we will do that giveaway, I don't know, probably after the next topic. We'll see how we go. It's very loose here. I like to keep it loose. Maybe that's a bad choice of words. But anyway.
Tighten up over there.
It's very PlayStation centric this week, isn't it? But Xbox games are outselling PlayStation on its own platform, which I found it funny and interesting. But I mean, for years we've been hearing that Sea of Thieves, isn't a great game, is terrible, just trash, blah 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 blah. From one sector of the community.
Who wants to play that game? Who wants to play that?
40 million people do.
Right? Who wants to play that trash?
Right.
And Xbox doesn't make good games, is what we've been hearing for years and years and years. But I guess my question to the community of the week is, does this mean that Xbox makes good games? I think with Sea of Thieves sitting at number 12, and I think it was 7 Xbox games in the top outselling all of PlayStation's games in the top 20. It's absolute madness. I don't know if I can bring this up on screen. But sitting at the top is Fortnite. Number 2 is Call of Duty. Again, an Xbox franchise. You got NBA 2K3, MLB The Show, Madden 2024, Helldivers 2, Overwatch 2, Xbox game. EA, GTA 5, Roblox, Sea of Thieves at number 12. Fallout 4 at number 16. Minecraft at number 19, Fallout 76 at number 20, even outselling Stellar Blade or Stellar Yams, which I know is an Umbra's favorite. He loves that one. Do we think that this... Look, let's look at this from let's use a holistic point of view. Is this good for Xbox, or is this bad for consumers? Is this great for PlayStation? Who does this benefit? Me personally, right? I got to be honest. I haven't done a lot of bragging out there on Twitter because I personally was hoping that they were going to bomb. And I'm kind of glad that Hi-Fi Rush bombed a little bit. And it's okay. It makes sense with Sea of Thieves because it is a live service game. So that selling gangbusters to me, I guess, is an okay thing. But if I'm on my Xbox brain wanted them all to bomb, so Xbox was like, all right, we're not releasing anything else over there. But it seems like it's inevitable right now. That's probably going to happen. So I guess you look at it from a positive standpoint. We've got a huge player count now in Sea of Thieves that we didn't have before. Blue, are you excited about Sea of Thieves outselling? most of Sony's first party bangers.
I wouldn't say I'm excited about it. I don't think it's something to tout like, haha, gotcha. It's not that. It's just that, Sea of Thieves has actually played it this weekend a little bit. It's not necessarily my jam, but again, it has a huge audience, and I think it would be if I played it a bit more. But it's fun and it's co-op, and I think all multiplayer games should be everywhere, in my opinion. Just because you need a bigger player base, and it makes it more fun, makes it more competitive, keeps a game alive, and clearly this game has got significant legs now, especially with going on PlayStation. 40 million players on Sea of Thieves. That's huge.
It is huge.
Huge,
so are you
huge.
saying that you'd never very, very big pause? Have you? Are you saying you've never played Sea of Thieves before? This is the first time?
No, I played it before.
Okay.
But I hadn't played it in probably 2 or 3 years. So this is the first time I've gone in a while.
If any game needs a big, huge, lengthily held, player count, and I think it's Sea of Thieves, right? Because it's a very hard game to play by yourself, and it's not quite as fun.
It is.
But if you've got a crew of people, like literally crew, you're always going to have a good time in that game. It is just fun. There's a lot of stuff to do now. It's pretty sparse when it launched, right? But it's really, really sort of hit its stride. I think 2020, 2021. It really started to add that content in, and they've been hitting it ever since. And I think it's every single No Diddy, John Wolf, every single direct we've had, or there's been something there for Sea of Thieves, whether you've liked it or you haven't liked it. Donte, how do you feel about this? The success that Xbox has seen on PlayStation with their first party bangers. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Good for consumers? Good for Xbox consumers? What's your take?
Well, of course, it's good for consumers because it allows more people to play the games, right? So, like, that's a win-win for anybody who doesn't have the ability to maybe go purchase an Xbox or have a PC to play it on. So, from the consumer standpoint, yes, it's a good thing. From the Xbox standpoint, for a fan of the platform, obviously, our concern is just the health of the platform. Like, to me, it doesn't really impact me if PlayStation dudes get to play Xbox games. It only impacts me if like that means we don't get more consumers to our side, right? If we don't get more people who are into the ecosystem, funding Game Pass or purchasing, whatever hardware comes out to allow them to continue to get their party games to come to our system. So that's my only concern, is if that deviates, right? If people are like, well, I will just play it on PlayStation and then I don't purchase any Xbox hardware, and then third parties say I am not developing for Xbox because most people are playing their games just on PC or PlayStation. So I still hope that they take a more measured approach with this. Like, Sea of Thieves makes sense. It's a social game. Grounded makes sense. It's a social game. I've put a lot of hours into both of those games, especially Sea of Thieves. Me and my boys, I used to have a crew that we used to run the game. It's a great, like, social, chill, kickback game with you and your friends until, well, it can get chaotic if you basically get attacked, but that's another story. So those games to me made sense as to, I felt like they should be able to do well on the PlayStation versus maybe Hi-Fi Rush, I think, would have did better if it was there when it launched, right? But being a year later, maybe the buzz dies down a little bit, so therefore that's why we didn't see it do so well. So I still don't think we should get to a point where like every game needs to go there, because you do got to have these different differentiators. You got to have something that people say, okay, well, why am I going ahead and purchasing your product? So Xbox, you got to be measured with that. I don't think you should open the floodgates. And from at least the things that Phil them have said, that they're said not every game will go. So I'm hoping that they stick to that. But in the interim, man, like, I'm happy for the success. I'm happy to see that these games are basically getting, I won't say another life, but gaining more traction on the PlayStation side. And it shows me another thing as well. It shows me that a lot of the people who like are just playing games aren't paying attention to a lot of the stuff that's happening on social media and Twitter for those of us who are like knee deep in the whole console stuff. The people who actually just enjoy games, want to play what's cool, they're going to buy the product if it's a cool game, if it looks fun. And so that's the reason why I think we're seeing it. One thing that we should kind of take notice, I think that list from Tweaktown, it's a daily list, right? So at the time that he checked it, hopefully we'll see if that continues to have legs and we continue to see these games in the top 25. But to me right now, it's a win-win. We'll see how this looks a little bit later down the road. When we need to get more people who are still basically bringing games to our platform that's not from Xbox first party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think you sort of brought up a bit of an interesting point as well in there. You think that Hi-Fi Rush would have had more success or seen more success if it was day and date. What I really hope is that Xbox doesn't think like that. Personally, and I saw someone in the chat. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. I do read all the comments. I don't always get to shout you out, but someone in the chat said if you were upset, it's a super chat, so I'll jump to it real quickly. And I will go through these super chats. I'll jump to you, Umbra. KY Bob said with the $20 super chat, thank you, KY Bob, good friend of the show, good friend. He said the dockable handheld will give you access to the Xbox console games on your Xbox PC games, your Steam games, your Epic Game Store games, and those PlayStation PC games will literally turn the industry upside down. Yeah, very interesting. I'm wondering how they'll rock with the licensing on that, Bob. It'd be interesting to see how they license things, because that, I think, is their main hurdle. And once they get over that, we shouldn't have a problem. Phase 23K Brooklyn with a $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Phase. He said, here's another spin to it. The crazy thing is that since Minecraft, PlayStation has been incredibly important for Xbox. The past, present, and future of Xbox is on PlayStation. I think the past, present, and future is going to be conjoined, and I think that if any platform holder is best positioned to survive, the console slump, it's Xbox. You can disagree, but that's up to you. And Mo de la Gaza said with a $4.99 super chat, thank you very much, Mo. And this is the one I was talking about. He said, anyone who was upset when Xbox announced that they were moving games over to PlayStation should not be happy about this. I can dig that, man. I can understand you saying that. I kind of agree. I wasn't happy. I still have mixed feelings. But look, I think it's a positive for the game itself, Sea of Thieves. And obviously, it's a net positive for Xbox players if we continue to see the investment in console. And that was my only concern. And it's the only concern I still have. And as long as they continue to invest in the console, and it looks as if they are going to be, then I'm happy. And at the point that this was announced, the 4 games going over, we didn't have much of a roadmap. We didn't have full assurances that we would see another console, that we would see a handheld, that these things were definitely happening. And so I think it's sort of okay for you to be a little bit more accepting now. I am personally, because you can understand it's a net positive for you as a consumer when Xbox is making the extra coin out of PlayStation's ass. Umbra, what do you think about this?
Did you just set me up with ass? And hold on, which way are we going with this? No Diddy.
No Diddy pause. Do you think, well, look, I guess my question is, do you think that Xbox thinks the same way that Donte's sort of looking at this? Like maybe we made a mistake not releasing, this Hi-Fi Rush on PlayStation day and date. I think optics wise, it certainly is a mistake to I think it would have probably gone over better if it was just always a multi-platform game. I don't think people would have that as much.
I want to clarify before Umbra chimes in. Like, that's not what I want them to do. But I'm thinking, like, in terms of why it did not do so well is because it was kind of like it's a single player game that's way after the fact. If it happened at release, it would have been cool. But I personally want them to have, like I say, some exclusive that are like, this is why you got to get an Xbox. Oh, yeah. But I think that's why it didn't do as well, is because it's later and it's not a multiplayer game.
Oh yeah, and I'll maintain 100. I'll never change this opinion. Exclusives are important. We've seen it with other types of media. We see it with gaming. It has just been a staple. If you don't have those big tent poles to bring people to your platform, then you're basically committing platform suicide. In my view, maybe I could be proven wrong, but I don't think that Xbox is bringing everything over to PlayStation. But I do think PlayStation's bringing everything over to PC. Shout out to J-Rock. Umbra, what do you think? Do you think this is a net positive for Xbox gamers, for Xbox consumers? You still got a little bit of salt about the the 4 games. Where are you at with this? How are you feeling about Sea of Thieves doing so well, being number 12 bestseller on the PlayStation list?
I'm indifferent a little bit, right? Where, like you, I kind of wanted them to fail, but at the same time, no, I'm just gonna be honest. I was kind of like, fail. I sent hater vibes their way, like noonie, but it wasn't working, at least for some of the games. Pentiment, I felt wasn't going to do well, and it didn't do well. And talking with people on it, and talking with like Rand, for instance, he gave a good point where he said it was probably done more so to kind of satiate somebody like Josh Sawyer, right? And to kind of get him to be cool with his passion project being available to more people, more eyes on it. And that makes some sense. I doubt it sold many copies, but I enjoy Pentiment, so it's no shade. I'm not saying that to be negative, but it's a very it's a very niche title, though, right? So I feel like that, and then as to Donte's point about Hi-Fi Rush, and I loved Hi-Fi Rush, by the way. I got to get back to it and finish off the achievements for that, but that right there being a single player type of game, you would think it would be in the PlayStation, our Who Brothers wheelhouse, but I think what has become with that is more so that some of our PlayStation brethren aren't too honest. So a lot of them, you got to keep in mind, have an Xbox too, and they also have PCs. It might not be the higher end ones, but some of them do have it. And so they may have already played Hi-Fi Rush at this point. So that's possibly why it didn't do as well as it would have otherwise if it would have released.
Sneaky bastards.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure Bobby Hawk was one of them, and try to act like he didn't like it. But yeah, I think that speaks to that. But obviously, yeah, exactly. The nays have it. But I feel like
Got him.
I feel like multiplayer titles would obviously, to Blue's point, would obviously do much better than single player titles, and that it would make more sense for those types of games, especially live service, to be everywhere. So I am indifferent largely when it comes to multiplayer games. I'm like, that's fine, but to a point, and that's why I say I'm indifferent to a degree, because Bobby Hawk joked about it, but he said, imagine all Halo come over and people would chase Phil out of the building and all that. Yeah, I think Halo would probably be a bridge too far, right? Because how far do we take this whole multiplayer approach thing of sharing?
Send Halo.
Don't listen
that
to her
right now. You stop that right now.
Yeah, right.
Stop that right now, Holly.
Send Halo, please.
Stop that right now.
You see what I'm talking about? How unsupportive she is.
Take it back.
Take me off the screen.
Take it back.
Take it back.
No.
Take it back.
Own up to what you said. Own up to what you said.
They can have Halo.
Own up to what you said. Absolutely not.
Phil, you heard what she said? Don't listen to her.
Not the campaign.
Just the multiplayer. They shan't have any of it. None of it. But no, I feel like, again, I look at it like this. It could be a gift and a curse. It could be a gift because, these games are getting more eyes on them. They're getting more hands on them to play. So it's good for gamers, right? In that essence, in that sense. I don't know, though, if that'll be a long-term thing, but because, again, it could lead, and it did lead to that worry that, will they bring more games over now, right? That's been a worry. So these 4 games, and why you and I felt the way we did, Risk, was like fail, because we know that that's just a signal for more games to go over. And if these do well, so far, Sea of Thieves and what was the other one? Well, Sea of Thieves in particular was already doing really, really well. But
Rush, Grounded
in Sea of Thieves, seem like titles that can do really, really well like that. My thing though is that we wanted it to fail because it seems like this was a test, and if these succeeded, then it would be more that they would just bring and port over. That's what we don't want specifically. If you're an Xbox fan, I would think most Xbox gamers don't want that. But here's the rub. So a lot of people feel like, well, if this is also to De La Garza's chat, is that this could be seen as a negative, obviously, for what's up, Cassie? This could be seen as a negative for Xbox too, because if they're doing well, obviously, then they're going to bring more over, right? So I don't know how this is going to play out, honestly. And there is this contingent that's kind of the tinfoil headed type where they think, well, they only did this because of the court case, so they wanted to make it look like, see, we're not monopolizing these games, we're putting them over here on PlayStation too. I don't really think that's the case, but that's one of the theories out there that I've heard. I don't know. I don't know how to really take this news. I'm happy that the games are doing well because they are good games, or at least some of them are doing well. But then at the same time, how far does that go? And how far do we take that to its natural course before other games that I would feel a way about going over there will start to happen? You know what I mean? So it's a slippery slope, I would feel, in a way. But I feel like it's going to be something that is going to be more, I think it's going to be something that happens universally. It's not going to be just Xbox doing it. It's going to be something PlayStation does as well, where a lot of those games we'll start seeing games we would never have thought that would be on Xbox from PlayStation coming over, and vice versa. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it is universal. I think you're seeing it with PlayStation. I don't know. I don't ever see PlayStation bringing over any of their exclusives to Xbox, though. I just do not see that happening. But
never say never, bro.
Exactly. There's been plenty of things that we never thought would happen that have happened, especially through this generation. This has been like surprise after surprise. Look, guys, before we move on to the next topic, just hit the like button, share us out. We go live every Friday, 8 p.m. EST. If you're in Australia, it's 11 a.m. And if you're in the West Coast, Best Coast, like myself, it's 8 a.m. We're about to give away a Hellblade coin. Hopefully this all worked. If you guys haven't typed in hashtag coins with an S into the chat, do it now, because I'm about to hit the button and we're about to give away a special edition Hellblade coin. You will need to send us your address so we can have that posted out to you. Let's hit the button, shall we, guys? And here we go. See who it is. The weird accent. Congratulations.
Woo! Hey, Risk, you actually added me to the drawing. I was joking around.
Well, you typed in hashtag coin. Of course.
If I would have won,
okay, I wouldn't have sent it to you anyway.
I believe you.
Yeah. Definitely not. Definitely not. Jeremy Merchant, look, just hit me up on Twitter and send me your
Riskit.
Your credit card info.
I'll send you a link to send to
Social
him.
security number.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
cool. Please send me a link to send to you, Jeremy Merchant. I'll do that after the show so I don't forget. Let's kick on with the rest of the topics. And let's just do this because I know she loves it. No, won't do that. She's going, I know what you're doing.
Everybody hates that. Everybody hates that. It's a Fallout thing, except everybody doesn't like it.
It's a Fallout. Let's talk about Fallout. Let's jump a topic here, right? Fallout games are topping the charts in Europe. I think Fallout 4 is sitting at number 1. Oh, yeah, interesting. Fallout 4 is sitting at number 1 in Europe, which is unbelievable. I've downloaded Fallout 4. I've watched the rest of the show. It's sort of Fallout mania happening, right? Fallout 76 was what was that sitting at? Number 20 on the on PlayStation's charts. Seems to be a bit of a resurgence. Skill Up would be hating this, but this is absolutely amazing. Again, like Xbox games are just selling. This is a really good example, though, of what happens when you make with a no bullshit. You just make a good series or a good film. and we've had a couple that are based on we had The Last of Us. I don't want to bring that up because I had to have a war with Sony about monetizing my last episode because I put up a trailer of The Last of Us and I didn't appreciate it, but I won that battle. But yeah, I think this is a good example, and it sort of makes me look forward to Gears, and I'm hoping, I mean, if you look at what they did with Halo, that did not create any hype for the game. It wasn't closely linked to the game. It wasn't as big. It was the biggest thing on Paramount. I think season 2 is great. But now, just based on, a good TV show, we are Dreamcast guy looks like a Fallout character. That's not nice, J-Rock. But it's true. Absolutely amazing. I'm super hyped. As soon as I've finished No Rest of the Wicked, I'll be jumping into Fallout 4 and seeing if I can get through that first little section, which was a push for me before. Holly, I'm obviously going to jump to you because you're the big Fallout head on the panel. Are you super stoked? Are you seeing a lot more action in Fallout 76? Let's get you up on the screen here. What do you think about this? Oh, look at that Fallout corn. She's beautiful. And backside. Look at that backside.
Pristine.
That is a pristine backside.
Indeed.
No diddy.
It's a great coin.
How you feel about this Fallout 4?
In context, that's a complete okay one. In the context, that one's okay. That's fine. She understands. She knows.
Holly, is she muted?
Yeah.
She is muted. Yeah. I didn't do that this time. That wasn't me.
He hates my keyboard chat. It's just not fair. It's keyboard prejudice. So I love Fallout. I do. I'm really, really happy that the franchise is getting some new vigor, new love. What's a bummer about it is the fact that we're getting all of this excitement for Fallout and they don't have any Fallout game coming out in like the next 2 months or, something to really follow it up. What I would love is that there be just a super surprise announcement in June that literally no one is expecting, but I don't think that's going to happen. In the meantime, everybody should go consider playing Fallout. I recommend starting with Fallout 4. You'll hear some mixed reviews about that, but it's the most current game that's not 76. And it is the most functional at this time. It won't feel as outdated as some of the others do. And it looks really nice. They're going to do this 60 FPS patch that's coming out, and it's a fun game. You'll lose a lot of hours in it. The DLC is really great. The Nuka World DLC, if you're only going to buy just a piece, I recommend the Nuka World DLC over the Far Harbor, but Far Harbor is really good too. And if you're looking for a multiplayer experience with your friends, Fallout 76 was really bad when it came out, and it is really good now. So I highly recommend popping into that. Donte and I have played a lot of 76 together. He is the gnome assassin, so if you like your garden gnomes at your camp, do not play with Donte.
Only threatful ones.
He has
Only
a
ones that pose a threat.
nomophobia. What?
Only if they pose a threat.
It's so good. But they introduced building into Fallout 4, and it was totally optional. You didn't have to do it, and I didn't want anything to do with it. I went about my day. I played the game. But in 76, the building is actually it's kind of fun, don't you think, Donte? Do you think it's fun?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. But again, I'm coming from a standpoint that this was my first Fallout experience, so I can understand anyone who's played 1, 2, and 3 can have their own opinion as to what they consider a Fallout game. But to me, I've had a blast in it. That's the reason why I've spent so many hours. I think I'm probably at least a couple hundred hours in that particular game. But I enjoyed the setting up the building mechanics and then going around for friends and me, you, and Colt just doing God knows what within it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's definitely gotten much better compared to how it was when I first started playing it. So like if you're someone who started off and you're like, wait, this is trash, because they didn't have a lot going, right? They had hardly
It
not
was
too many
bad at first.
NPCs, just bots. Yeah.
It's the same thing
That
as
would be a
Sea
good
of
time.
Thieves. When Riskit was
Yeah.
talking about Sea of Thieves, I was like, this is the
Yeah.
exact same thing, right? Light on
Yeah.
content. There were some other issues they were complaining about because NPCs play a big part in the Fallout universe, right? In the regular mainstream games. And in 76, they were like, there's no NPCs to interact with and do all this stuff. And you're like, what? Like, what? Like, so what are you doing in this game? And that's kind of how it felt, right? When you got in, you're like, what am I doing in this game? But 76 is a whole nother thing. But I don't know. I mean, I have played alone. I've played with friends. I do feel like it is a significantly better game with friends. And I'm sure Donte could talk about that too. But the mainline Fallout games are very good, and they're just super cool. And you don't do anything else like it. It is its own franchise and nothing duplicates it. Oh shoot, there was one other thing I was going to talk about, but Donte, do you want to say anything else about Fallout? You haven't played any of the Fallouts, but except for 76, right?
Oh, it's just been 76 for you, huh?
Yeah. So it's just 76. So I'm waiting for the that update that's coming out shortly. So that way I'm gonna four is gonna be my intro. So before anyone gets into their feelings as to like that's the worst one, because I hear some people sometimes saying that. It seems to be a consensus also that I see more people saying that 4 is still a very good game, and a lot of people
It's really good.
They're re-downloading that. What are they purchasing?
The problem with 3 in New Vegas now is that they look their age and they play their age, and that's fine. It's absolutely fine, right? But if you're not comfortable with playing older games and using, the things that come along with it, it's really going to be a struggle. But what I wanted to talk about too really fast is J-Rock's point about Obsidian, and the fact that it sounds like it's gonna be like another 10 years before there's another Fallout. And the thing I was talking about on Pixelated Echoes with Fuzzy Belvedere, who's here, and 3-Bit, we were talking about, Fallout and the show and how great it is and all that stuff. And what I think would be really cool is, In Exile worked on 1 and 2, and Obsidian worked on New Vegas. And then, of course, there's Bethesda, and we know they're all busy doing different things, but they're all under the same Microsoft umbrella. And, what's the point of owning all these studios if you can't maximize, right, the development and the things that are coming out of it and allow the collaborative efforts to come across, whether it's, talent, or if it's hardware, or whatever they need. And I think it would be very cool for them to take a little bit of an Exile and a little bit of Obsidian and a little bit of Bethesda and bring them together and just make like a Fallout little think tank, right? And just let them cook and make a new game. I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah. One thing that's really sorry. One thing that I think is really cool right now is like, I think so we're seeing the importance of that Bethesda purchase, because like Bethesda has this great ability to continuously generate what I call passive income off of a lot of the games they've released. It also helps that the power of the show has triggered basically people to go and purchase like the whole collection for the most part, right? Helps that the price point's really nice, because I think a lot of the games are running anywhere between $4.99 and $7.99 for 1, 2, and 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken, like different prices respectively. But that helps. But it's like it's a good trigger to show that you have this IP that can generate buzz from the power of a good TV show to make people go out and then reinvest into a game that's been gone for games that have been gone for a decade. So that Bethesda purchase really is shown to be like Microsoft's like MVP in terms of just like the fan base and the ability for them to, like with the show, bring in people who know nothing about the Fallout universe, but now probably are interested and want to go and purchase some of the games that we're seeing. Because I'm pretty for sure everyone who is already a Bethesda fan already has these games, right? They probably got them on PC or Xbox, etc. So for me personally, 4 is going to be my first foray, and I'm excited for that, especially when the new update comes. Had a great time with 76, but I'm interested in seeing what just a definitive game experience with a narrative driven, because 76 has story beats and narratives. It's more kind of like what you're doing in the world multiplayer, which I really enjoy. That's one of the great things about a lot of games on Xbox. But I'm also curious to see what is it like just playing a single player narrative focused game within that particular universe. So that right there, like they've got another person who was probably never that much into Fallout games, or I say ignored them, but it just wasn't something I ever got into. But now they got me interested, where I'm going to go ahead and purchase an old game. So to me, I think they got to hit. They got to hit in more ways than one. So it's working out for Microsoft and Bethesda.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it just shows the power of making a good show, sticking to the law, respecting the source material. And what it can do for not just the platform that it's on, which is Prime, but obviously for the games themselves in which they come from. Umbra, what do you think about this Fallout shooting to the number one seller in over Stellar Blade, one of your favorite games ever made?
I think it's a travesty. Those yams need more sales, guys. Get on it. Blue, pre-order copy so we can get that back to number one. No, seriously. No, man, I'm excited. I'm happy for it. It's cool because
you want to do
that? That's the Chicago head scratcher right there. We call it. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it, man, because for one, I love the show, and I know you did too. You came away with, I think, a higher score than I even did, and I came away with a 9.5 out of 10, and you came away with what, Risk?
10 out of 10, man.
10
that
out
show
of
was
10.
Fire. Yeah.
Masterpiece for you then. So and I was close to giving it that. So it was cool to see, that it wasn't just, some type of fanboy, like, oh, it's just because it's Xbox, Xbox title or property now. It's really a good show, and it resonated with everybody, and it resonated with the wider audience, the casuals. So a lot of these sales you're seeing are clearly casuals, right? A lot of them. I bought the entire collection on PC here, so I have all the way from 1 to you. That's the Chicago gasp right there. The exacerbated gasp.
I need a PC master.
I was going to say you need a PC
puking sound.
Get the Windows thing. Dun, dun, dun.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I was going to get that when, like, if we're having quiet spills on a show, and I ask something and nobody says anything, I'm just going to play that noise. Ding, dong, dong. But no, so it's really cool though, because again, I bought the entire collection on Steam. So, well, not on Steam, but I bought it and have it on Steam. So 1 through 2, which are isometric style. You have tactics. You have 3, 4 Game of the Year editions, New Vegas, all of that, and 76 as well. So I have the entire shebang, the whole shebang, and it's really cool because, sadly, as much as a gamer I consider myself to be, I had never really played those like that. So part 3 and 4, I dabbled in them. Like I just a little, okay, all right, I played a little minutes, whatever, and moved back on a Halo or whatever it was at the time. So it's cool that I'm getting a chance to play this, and I can put the mods on it and everything like that. And I'm really enjoying it. Well, I was before No Rest for the Wicked pushed it out of the way. But it's really dope to see this resurgence. And it kind of upsets me a little bit because you look at this and you say, okay, this is what happens when you put like real heart and soul into an IP, into a property. We've seen it with The Last of Us. We've seen it with, I didn't watch it yet, but I've heard with Twisted Metal even. And I will say season 2 of Halo, you saw a bit of it, but they deviated so far away from that a lot of people didn't land with them, right? And part in the season 1 wasn't that great, but you see this sticking to the source material But they got a little bit more leeway, to be fair. There's no legacy characters, whatever. But they stick to the source material. You see how well it lands, and you see the resurgence of the games because of it. With Halo, we didn't see that resurgence. We didn't see the game skyrocket up like that. And
one thing I want to just kind of chime in real quick in reference to the Halo portion of it. So like, yeah, the first season wasn't good. So I can wholeheartedly say that I was disappointed with it. Second season to me was much better. Got me interested and wanted to continue. But it was never going to really do what Fallout was able to do, because let's be honest, there aren't a lot of people who are subscribed to Paramount Plus compared to like Prime. So Prime was always going to have the bigger potential audience of a show being placed on it compared to Paramount Plus. So it's like I'm happy for the fact that Halo was actually able to be successful, that they gave it a season 2, and hopefully we'll see a season 3. But Prime automatically is, if you have a decent show and you're putting it on Prime, you're getting a way larger audience than you're going to get. It's probably second next to if you have Netflix, right? That's like probably the second largest streaming audience, where Paramount Plus it's not comparison in terms of how many people it's going to reach.
That's a fair point, though. No, actually it is, because I often forget I even have Amazon Prime, but it's because I use the service itself to buy my packages or whatever I'm getting off Amazon. It's like, yeah, of course I'm going to use Amazon Prime to have all this extra free goodies, right? So there is that. You're right about that. But I will point to other shows they've had that didn't land so well, right? Like, for instance, Lord of the Rings didn't land so well with people. But you can see the money and the budget they put behind it. And it's the same thing here with Fallout. And they got the proper creatives behind it. They got the people from the studio, from Todd Howard and his folks, to help work on it. And you can see even the casting, everything from the casting choices to the cinematography, everything about it to the CGI. You can see they put real effort into this, and that's the thing I think that resonated with people, and that's why those games are skyrocketing as they do. It just makes me feel a bit of a way. And I'll be honest with you too. Even with Halo going to Paramount, I initially was like, why Paramount of all people? You felt the same, right? Yeah,
I wanted like either Showtime, worse Netflix, and then there would have been Prime. Those were my first. Like,
but it was Showtime.
HBO wouldn't have done it. It was initially.
Yeah.
But it is still Showtime because Paramount owned Showtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not the same kind of like. I think you would get a bigger prestige audience watching for its eyes on Showtime versus Paramount, which people, you know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of people who have cable still probably have like a HBO Showtime type of bundle, where like a lot of people aren't like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sub $7.99 or whatever it is for Paramount Plus.
Like old people, yeah. Cable.
But yeah,
with my cable, it's
back in my day. No, but it's great to see it though. Like I said, it is good to see good things happen to good properties, or to well, done I guess shows, or whatever you want to call it, in games. So it's good to see that happen. It does put the idea that maybe they didn't capitalize as they should have. Like, clearly there should have been some games, some remaster. We already heard about, like, for instance, Oblivion remake or remaster coming out. Where is Fallout? Like, there should be a Fallout 3 and 4, or at the very least a 3 remaster or remake in the works that should have been probably launching around the same time, right? And maybe they can get that going for the second season. So hopefully that would be my thing. If they can try to capitalize off of it, and even with part 1 and 2, I would say it's isometric. It's a style that not many would play, but if they could remaster that or remake it in such a way, or I even floated the idea, just change it. And I'm sure some wouldn't care for this, but change it to first-person shooters. Make those, special editions, I guess, of change from the original intent of it, and make part 1 and 2 first-person shooters in the same vein of 3 and 4 and everything else. They could go that route. Just something to really, I don't know, to capitalize off that property.
There is an opportunity that they sort of stomped on a little bit with this new update. And I wanted to jump to Blue because I know Blue was pretty devastated about this. And I looked into this and I'm like, wow, this looks good. So I'll put some footage up on screen in just a second. But Fallout London is a mod, basically a huge mod where they've gone through and built the Fallout world within London. Trailer up on the screen now. And this could be something I think that Bethesda could work with these developers on, these modders. I think it's no one's been paid for this, and this is not an official release, but I think it'd be a great opportunity to have this ready for the release of Season 2. And we've seen Bethesda has worked with modders in the past heavily to bring things to their games, and obviously even on Xbox you can get some of these mods. So be a really interesting thing, I think, for them to do. Blue, you were a bit devastated, obviously, when they dropped this 60 FPS and 4K update. It basically ruined the code for Fallout London. They're about to launch. I think it was 2 days after the announcement. They had to stop, delay the launch, and redo it again. I think this would be a really good opportunity for Season 2. If they have this ready by Season 2, Bethesda work with them in lieu of like a remaster or a remake of like Fallout New Vegas, or as Umbra was talking about, the tactics. And like, what do you think? This would be a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, I was really bummed about this. I've been watching this mod for years because there's so much hubbub around it. When I first saw it, I was like, and then I was like, oh, it's a mod, it's on PC only, but it's not. And then it's just a group of volunteers that have been working on this thing for forever. And it's just as big, if not a little bit bigger than the average DLC size. So it's huge. It doesn't even fit on Nexus mods. They had to go outside of that. But yeah, they finally got it ready and announced, and 2 days later Bethesda was like, hey, guess what, we're updating Fallout 4 and it's gonna be amazing, and we're gonna do all these things to it. And they just went back and went, oh gosh, because like they Bethesda games are pretty notorious that, once they do an update, if you have a mod loaded, it can just break the mod. So I think they're gonna pull it. It's just indefinite now until that comes out and they can work on it again. They said that Bethesda has never contacted them. They don't talk to anybody at Bethesda, which is kind of surprising, I think. But and this one has had a lot of eyes on it for a long, long time. So I am surprised that Bethesda doesn't talk to them. I don't know. There must be reasons for that, but I am super, super bummed that this is just now off the table until who knows when the volunteers find time in their spare time to work on it again. So
to fix all the code, yeah, absolutely. But again, like, I think it'd be a great opportunity if Bethesda did reach out and say, hey, we want to help you with this mod and we're going to release this as an official thing. Here's some money for all your work, guys. And they drop this with Season 2. I think that would be huge. Bethesda could make some bank off it. The mods who did this mod can make some bank off it. And it could bring a whole...
It was going to come out. It was supposed to drop April 23rd, I think it was. So it's like, it's ready, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't have to wait until there's a Season 2 of Fallout. I mean, I think they could still probably get it out this year. And it would be really nice if they did do that, especially because people are really, really getting antsy. Even before the TV show, people have been getting kind of antsy about where's the next Fallout. We really want another Fallout. What's going on? Why can't we get any type of Fallout, even like a spinoff, like a New Vegas 2 or a New York or something like that? And it would be cool if they helped them get this thing off the ground, get some legs on it, that it would at least kind of, cushion the, well, there's some time until you're going to see another Fallout.
Yeah, I mean, apparently this is a fully fleshed out mod. So you've got like quests, NPCs, like absolutely everything has been added to it. Like, it's a fully, I guess you would call it a DLC. But I mean, to your point, absolutely, I think they can have it done before the release. But I guess my point is, from a business perspective, as Bethesda, I would be reaching out to them saying, hey, we don't have this Fallout game, but hey, here's some money for you guys. We're going to launch this as an official thing, maybe as a DLC. And drop that at the time of the show. I mean, look at the sales that are happening now. I think it's sort of a no-brainer, and I would be very surprised if they haven't done that. And if they haven't done that, you probably want to sack that business manager and move on. But look, guys, we'll move on to the next topic. Before we do, please hit the like button, share us out. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday. If you're in the east of Australia, that is 11 a.m. West Coast, Best Coast time is 8 a.m. That's where I am. Moving on to the next topic. This one is a bit disappointing. So, I had the thing up and I deleted it. But that's all good. But in Australia, the deluxe edition for Star Wars Outlaws dropped at $200, $199.99. And I did have up. So apologies for this. I did have up the pricing for America, for US, which would be similar to the EU as well.
Would you like me to read it, Risk? I had it
absolutely
documented. Yeah. So for this is with a bit of the controversy because it's $70 standard edition. For here, you get the base game and the pre-order bonus. The pre-order bonus being a mission, for instance, 3, or in this case, and they've done this before. Ubisoft with like Valhalla, for instance, the Way of the Berserker had 3 missions that you would get. Now, the reason why that's been real controversial, just to give it context before I say the other prices, is because that's essentially cut content, right? It's day one DLC. So it's not like they're giving it to you 3 months later or something. It's day one cut DLC of a mission or 2 or 3 that they are just selling to you extra, which is, shitty. So $70 standard edition, you get the base game pre-order bonus. They got a $110 gold edition, which is the base game pre-order bonus, 3 days early access, which is another point of contention for people, and the season pass. And then you have the 130 ultimate edition, which is all of those, plus the Rogue Infiltrator bundle, and the Sabak Shark bundle and digital art book. And here's the kicker, and this is where they're trying to get people to subscribe. You have the $17.99 a month, of course, Ubisoft Plus, and you get all of that you would get in Ultimate Edition.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, absolutely. That is the kicker, but it's not. I don't think it's okay. And this is my thing. I did do a video. I don't know if I ended up posting it on Twitter, but this is my thing. Like, you are. So it's okay to sell, DLC that's coming down the line. I'm all right with that. I don't really have a problem with that. But what I do have a problem with is you're selling me a DLC that at this current time has 1 mission, and like you succinctly put, it's cut content. So, and I've made it through the whole show without swearing, but like, Ubisoft, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you're gonna release a deluxe, you're gonna have a deluxe edition, and it's for the season pass is what you get. Because let's be realistic, the rest of it's cosmetics that means shit, and you got 1 mission. That is not $100 worth of content. In Australia, it's an extra $100 from the base edition to that edition. Like, we're already paying $100 for the base edition. You want us to pay $200 for the promise of something we don't even know what you're doing. If this is a Witcher type DLC and it's 100 hours, then I could see the extra $100. Like, I can see that, and I would be happy to pay that. If this is just like your typical Ubisoft DLC, maybe you get an extra 10 hours. Paying $100 for that is just ridiculous. Like, what are you doing here? Yeah, so I guess I just wanted to bring that up and call that out. Blue, where are you at with Star Wars Outlaws? I know that you are going to get that game because I spoke about it earlier in the week, but you're a little bit salty about the pricing.
So tell me again, for the $130, do you get full DLC?
Yeah, you get a day 1 exclusive mission. You get all the cosmetics, like a bunch of cosmetics, which is nothing. And then you get the season pass, but we don't know what is in the season pass.
I hate that season pass thing. And I'm always like, that only belongs in straight up multiplayer games, right? I don't know. Like, I personally, I know that a lot of people have issues with this 3-day early access thing. I don't have any problem with it as long as it's bundled with DLC content. Because really, the price of DLC content is the same, right? And it's up to you to gamble if you think this game is going to be good enough or something that you're going to enjoy enough to just buy the DLC before you get to the point in the game where you actually know for sure, yes, I'm so excited I have the DLC, or, well, shouldn't have done that, but I'm going to get the content anyway. It's I don't know. The 3-day early access, if it was only an upcharge for that, I'd say absolutely not. That's ridiculous. It's crazy. Cosmetics, I mean, you could ask Umbra about paying extra for cosmetics on a game because he did it. And beyond that, I think $130 is kind of gross, but I'm also the type of person who spends $110 on the new Call of Duty because it comes with the battle pass. That's the Black Cell edition, so I get all of the cosmetics and stuff like that. So I am part of the problem, I guess.
You are
But
part.
those are games that I know
You
I'll
are part of the
play
problem.
the heck out of.
You better
You are
I
part of the
know
problem.
that those are games that I will play the
You
living
have an
pants
issue.
off of. So
I'm messing with you.
So with your early access, for me, I am one of the ones that does have a problem with it, but only this is very specific. I have a specific problem with it. So only when we do it on Game Pass. I understand from a business perspective, it's a great thing to do for them. You know, brings them the extra revenue. They sell the game, so on and so forth. And you do get the full game, and that's cool. Like if you get. Well, no, I think in some cases you just buy the DLC, you get the early access, right? And then you still have the game on Game Pass, and it's to me it feels predatory, preying on people's FOMO. I know it just doesn't feel right, like to me. So something doesn't sit right with me on it, and I just don't like that it's become such a thing. I mean, and we've obviously trained the developers and the publishers to do this because we've been buying into this bullshit. Instead, your release date should be your release date, as far as I'm concerned. Like that's your release date, and all you're doing is, for those that can't afford to play it, that that early access or don't want to pay that early access, they sort of miss out. I just don't feel like that's fair. And I have an overdeveloped sense of justice. Guys, type hashtag coins in the chat. You can do it in lowercase and uppercase because I can't remember which one. If it doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. So try doing it in lowercase as well because we're going to do that giveaway. Donte, what do you think? Like, you think it's predatory? The cost is ridiculous. Is cosmetics worth an extra 100 for the promise of a season pass with an extra mission? Loins.
No, it's no. No, sorry. No, I mean, all right. Here's my problem with this, and even in relation to to DLC, because at least most people, especially like in the Xbox ecosystem, and probably even on the PlayStation side, if they kind of break down sales, a lot of the people purchase digital these days. Like, yeah, you'll have this group of people who are like, yeah, I'm physical forever, but a lot of people purchase digital. So what I'm trying to determine is why is there such a huge jump for the price for something that is costing you no more? Because I can get if you're like saying, hey, we have to ship stuff over there to put it within inside a store for people to consume, but most people are purchasing digital. So what additionally are you doing to justify why there's such a huge gap in the price between stateside in Australia when it comes to DLC? I don't get it. So yeah, to me that looks a little predatory. If you're giving me some maybe someone understands more than me, but to me it just seems like that seems a little bit asinine. But at the end of the day, the consumer makes this particular choice, right? So someone has to individually make the determination on if they want to spend that money and fall into the FOMO, or if they're just cool with the base game. Me personally, if I really like something, and if I look at the additional, whatever the expansion will be, or not expansion, but the deluxe edition would be. When I look at that, if I see stuff in there that I'm like, oh, that looks really, really cool, and I want that, then I would make that decision. But a lot of times, if it's something that can be earned by just playing the game, it's kind of like, well, what's the point, right? At that point, save your money and just play the base game and unlock it yourself. So the consumer will make that particular choice. I don't like it, but at the same time, we for the most part, we live in a free society, so people can hopefully make their own decisions. And I hope that people will continue to vote with their wallet and then not purchase that price. So maybe these companies will kind of reevaluate and say, okay, hey, we need to be more competitive in these markets because it's, no one purchased this $200 edition in Australia. You know, so
Mhm.
like we were wrong, right? We need to adjust, because that's the only way that's going to happen, is that the consumer has to sit there and say, nah, no, thank you. I'll stick with the base game and not purchase your $200, DLC, whatever the hell you give me for the deluxe. I'm personally not a fan.
Well, just to
Mm.
clarify a little bit, $130 US is about $200 Australian.
So it's
So
130 here US. Because I thought I saw
yes.
someone say earlier it was like around. So that's okay. That's a lot higher. Usually, most deluxe games here would be like around
Well,
$100, right?
there's usually like the $70 and then there's like like a 90 or $100 and then there's
Right.
like maybe 110 is I think the highest I think I've ever
Yeah, but I haven't
seen.
seen 130. So
No.
that to me
Yeah.
seems really, um, yeah, that's too costly.
They got to
Especially, I
pay
think, like,
those Disney royalties.
Yeah, but that's what I think is going on here. I think the Disney royalties do have an effect on this, and they're trying to recoup that cost, right? Because we're talking about percentages, right? That's what we're
isn't
talking
that why
about.
EA was kind of like trying to say they're getting away
That's
from a lot of licensed stuff, right? Because
EA
they're
canceled The Mandalorian because
right
of
because of the
the Disney
kickbacks, right?
fees, right?
And this is what we're going to see. We're going to see a lot of these big licensed IPs. Thatch says, "Riskit, us Canucks feel for our Aussie brothers." Yeah, because Canadian dollars very similar to Australians. They're paying roughly about the same. Speak to Mag on that all the time. But like, this is what's going to happen: is a lot of these licensed IPs, these huge IPs, we're not going to get them like we were getting. Like this just sort of started to happen, right? This is the golden age of sort of Star Wars games where they're starting to come out, and then Disney's just gone and whacked on an extra percentage, which makes it not worth it for developers to be using those big IPs. And it was a perfect sort of relationship, really, because as we know, big AAAs have become very risk averse, and using a big IP, sort of mitigates a lot of that risk, right? But not when it's so costly to the company. So I think it's sort of disappointing, but it's also disappointing, from Disney's perspective. But it's also sort of disappointing from Ubisoft as well, that they're on costing, trying to pass that cost on to the consumer. That's very likely not going to work, because I generally will buy the deluxe edition of things. That's just usually what I do, because you get the extra stuff and I'm like, what's an extra $20-$30 to me to get the deluxe edition? But from the base edition, and it's also the middle edition. I don't know what they're calling it, but the one in the middle of it isn't that great. And there's a bigger jump to the deluxe edition to make it seem like that deluxe edition is worth it. And Grey Monad in the chat corrected us with it is 2 missions, but that's it. You got 2 missions and some cosmetics, and there's no promise. I think if you're going to boost the price, like, say that this is what we got coming down the line in the season pass. Because to me, that what you're telling me as a consumer, and I guess we are all hardcore and we do follow this stuff, but what you're telling me is you don't have one right now. So like, I'm paying for the promise of something that you haven't developed. And it may be good, it may not be good, but you haven't developed it. Like there's no reason for me to take that leap from, a deluxe edition being 110 US to 130. Like give me a reason why you're charging me this extra money, is sort of where I'm at. Umbra, I know that you have always been a massive proponent of paying extra for games that are just worth it. So any game.
Yes, let's tip them as well as while we're at it.
Yeah, we should throw a tip in there. I think it's absolutely a feature. Make sure it goes to the publisher, not the developers. We don't want those guys getting anything.
Oh, yeah. You all take your scraps and enjoy it.
Absolutely. Where are you at on this? I kind of know where you're at. And excuse me, I'm about to have a coughing fit. I'll be right back.
No, you're good. Yeah, I'm pretty much. I think you stated my opinion, and you guys have given great points. No, that's exactly where I stand. I feel it's predatory, like you were pointing out, Donte, and definitely that it's egregious too, just the pricing, because also these are digital prices, right? Like when you get to the digital things, that's why I have such an issue with the $70 thing in particular, because it's not like they're going out of their way. They're not giving us anything extra for that $70. In fact, we're beta testing in most cases when it comes to that, right? And you're getting a digital price for the same price as physical. Why is it not cheaper? I don't understand that. And it's because we've allowed it. And I blame PlayStation, and I blame our Hoove brothers. I told you, I've said it before, that they like made that okay. And then you have all these things. I hate the idea of cut content, and it's been games that's been caught and called out before for that, for devs or studios, I should say. I don't want to say devs because I'm sure they don't like it either. But studios pulling that type of nonsense. It's silly to me to have day one DLC that you have to buy separately or be incentivized to, pre-order in order to get. I just think that's a little crappy. I don't like that practice whatsoever. It is in the same vein of exclusive missions or whatever, cosmetics or whatever, that a certain of the same game, for instance, Hogwarts Legacy is a prime example where, PlayStation got I guess a mission or in the cosmetics and such with the housing. I forgot the name of it, but your own wizarding world, whatever. They had the exclusive content, whereas Xbox didn't get that because PlayStation had a deal with them, the marketing deal. I don't like that. I'm paying the same price. It should not be a thing where they're getting more than me on another side because they have a deal in place. I just find it really crappy. Day one DLC is just a stupid practice. It should not be it should, if I'm paying you $70 when I don't want to give you $70 already, give me all of my game. Don't give me some of it.
Like, isn't DLC supposed to be like you are giving me something additional to play after the fact that I've already experienced your primary, game? So
that's what it's supposed to be, right? The expansion of that. But now they've twisted that, and this is not Ubisoft's first time doing it. They've done it before with Valhalla, for instance. And it's a practice that needs to go away. It's like you said, it's predatory, it's crappy, and it's predatory for the fact that they know that we're probably going to invest. Me, as Blue so succinctly put it, I am a thought for the cosmetics. So you show me that, and I'm like, man, look, I might have to try to get her a new hair pack or something. I don't know. I don't know. Get the Han Solo fit that I'm sure they're going to give us at some point in there or something. You know what I mean? So they'll get me when it comes to that. But give me that option of cosmetics. That's fine. I'll deal with that any day of the week. But when you put back actual in-game content that you didn't work extra for, it's just part of the game that you just took away from us arbitrarily to sell us to make more money off of us, that's when it's offensive and it's predatory and it doesn't taste right to me. That doesn't pass the taste test, as they would say. Also, too, like I said, yeah.
Umbra Service called us out, bro.
What happened?
Like we're guilty of the things that we're complaining about.
I know. Don't try to call us out on hypocrisy. How dare you?
It's like, oh man, this is terrible. But hey, what's the fit look like? It look like it's only $10 though, right? $10. You'll talk yourself into something for the fit. I know, right? You're like,
you will. Listen, I bought the deluxe edition of Stellar Yams because of the extra fits and stuff like that, right? And I'm going to dress her up very reasonably and respectfully. So yeah, but getting back off, I think Blue doesn't believe me. She's like, "Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?" No, but yeah, no, I feel like all of this is in essence, and beyond even that, all of this is to drive subscriptions for them. Very clearly the $17.99 is the prize here. If you don't care about not owning your game, that there is the rub. If you don't care about owning the game, then somebody like, for instance, Hargeet, he uses Ubisoft Plus. And if you can use that for that month, you can get everything you need to get out of this game and then cancel. That's not such a bad idea. You probably won't go back to revisit this game. So, and if you do, pay another $17, whatever, and you wouldn't have really lost out as much as paying $70, right? Or whatever, $130 in essence to get all of these things. So maybe that might be the option for people to try out. Maybe that is, and it's clear that's what they're pushing for. That's why they priced it the way they did. But that could be that might be, hell, I might do it. I'll see. It depends, but that could be the option.
He's already talking himself into getting that deluxe. He's like,
yeah, he's already purchased it. Yeah, he's already purchased it. You don't even know it, but he's like, He's got the credit card out. He's like, yeah,
my hand shaking as I'm holding the credit card. Like,
damn you, Ubisoft!
Right.
What's my code? Okay, all right.
What cosmetics do I get? Extra hair? All right. That'll work.
Extra hair. No diddy. We got to jump to this giveaway. If you guys haven't already, please type coins, hashtag coins into the chat. I'll pop it up one more time. That's not the one. Yes, it is. Type hashtag coins in the chat. We're going to jump to the giveaway real quickly. Give away another coin. And you will need to... I will send you a link if you win on Twitter. So if I don't have your Twitter handle, please type it in the chat. I forgot who won the last one, but Blue will tell me because she's all over it.
Jeremy Merchant.
Jeremy Merchant. Yeah,
Jeremy won the last
one. And this is the next one we're giving away. So get ready. Here we go. I'll put some tunes up this time because it was a little bit got a little bit silent last time when we were doing this whole giveaway thing. All right, let's do it. And
Hey, BT Maverick.
BT Maverick.
Shout out to BT Maverick.
yeah. Shout out to BT, man. I know your Twitter handle. I'll head over there and send you that link right after the show. That is pretty much all we have time for this week because I'm having coughing fits every 5 minutes, especially when someone makes me laugh. And I've got to mute and cover up my camera. Blue, fantastic week. Let the people know where they can find you, what you'll be up to. We had 184 people through at one point here, so another fantastic show. We're going live on YouTube, Twitch, and on X at the moment. So cool little thing that we can do now. People know where they can find you. Head down in the description. You can find all of the links down there. And what are you up to this week, Blue? How's it looking?
Yeah. So I'm ThatBlueNumber everywhere. I am going to be packaging and sending a lot of coins. So I'll be doing that, but also I'm gonna try to get back to Dragon's Dogma 2. And
step your pawn game up.
I know.
I can't pull that pawn.
I know. My guy is behind and he's not picking up as many missions because he's too low level. It's sad. But Red Dead Panda has me on lock because she has her pawn at like level 4,000. So it's a good one to take with me. But yeah, other than that, on Tuesday nights, I'm on the Renegade Realm podcast with Ted Wolf and Assassin and DeMarco Dude. So come by. It's a good time. And we try to talk about games, but frequently we don't. So that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, you do frequently get into the weeds on that show. I love it. Umbra, another fantastic week. People know where they can find you, where you'll be up to. Links are in the description, guys. Head down there and click those and follow everyone on the panel. Let people know what you're up to.
Now, did you add my Steam account there so people can find me? What's wrong over there, Blue? Huh? What's wrong? All of you guys, why are you face palming? What's going on here? Chat, you see this? How they turned against me because I've elevated. I don't understand this hate.
So what? What? So what?
Oh, oops. I wasn't muted. That was my evil laugh. No, listen. This was a good show. Good to talk with you guys. It is what it is. Add my Steam account, Risk, so everybody can find me there. I have my wish list. I can see you guys' wish list. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I gotta hide some games. I just thought about it.
Yeah.
Hey, don't you say a word. Don't you say a word.
He's been there. He's gone behind the curtain in the back of the gas station.
No. I was gifted these games, so you all would know. If you ever look at my account.
Have you got shower with your dad and genital jousting?
I do have genital jousting. I do have that. I don't have shower with your dad. I make sure to avoid that at all costs. Shout out to Cozy who gifted me those.
That's pause. That's no Diddy.
Yeah, that's super
Like
pause.
if anytime you guys could use it right there.
She offered to give it to me, Cozy. She's like, "Oh, you want to shower with your dad?" I thought she was joking. I'm like, "What? No, I don't want that." She's like, "It's a real game." I'm like, "No." And then she said, "Go look on Steam." I look it up, and it's really a game. Is that?
Right,
Oh, okay. I thought you did a sound effect. All right.
No, that was me thinking. So let's what my brain does when I think. It makes.
All right.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going into the
Is
Matrix.
Is that conflicting?
Oh, he's back. He's coming back.
Is that conflicting with your background, or it looked like it did, right?
No, he's back.
I don't know. Did it?
I don't know.
For a second.
Do the peace fingers. Do the peace fingers to see if that does it.
Now he's back into the Matrix.
Sad. He's very, very sad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Rainy days. All
Anyway,
right.
where can people find you? At
Yes. Sorry. You guys can find me on Twitter X, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite. You'll find me either way. And Thursdays, if you guys have not done so, click on my name. Well, you can't click on my name. Yeah, actually you can, right? You could probably click on it in chat. But anyway, I'm sure most of you are subscribed. If you're not, look up my name on here on search and type in The Fix and subscribe to it, brother. And come by on Thursdays at 8:00 Eastern. And of course, I'm on Booms as well.
You guys can head down in the description and click on those links. And
there we go.
Yeah. So you definitely be there. Donte. Let people know how you work and where they can find you. Talk about
big shout out to my panel. You guys are always the best, and big shout out to the chat, man. As always, you guys are always awesome. I always love chatting with you guys. Literally the best. Everyone's always cool. Have good, cool conversations. I don't see no one in there being a jerk to each other. So I'm always love that part about our chat. You can find me obviously here on Fridays. I do another podcast with a boy called the Boozy Box Office Podcast. But right now we're moving that platform. We got a copyright strike a couple of times for some stuff that happened, or whatever algorithm that's been run for stuff that's picking out some clips that we use that we mix into our podcast, because we don't do it live. We record it and then post it, and then some stuff got stricken and taken down. So we're gonna upgrade that. So I'll send you new links when that's available. For right now, though, you can catch me on Twitter, Donte J Moody, and also on Xbox, Spriggan113. As always, you guys have been amazing. Oh, Riskit. Get well, man. Rest.
Yeah,
if you're feeling sick, get rest. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you for doing this and keeping the show going, but at the same time, make sure you get well.
Yeah, I need to take a little bit of time off work this day. I think I'm getting a day. I think that's all I've got. Shout out to Mav in the chat. I'll probably be sending everyone over to his podcast if I can figure out where that is. Yeah, it's a great week. Can't wait for the next one. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Later, guys.